But moving on, number 35, a nice one, is from Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, Entering the Dark World.
Yes, that's still my favorite. One of my favorite pieces of music ever.
Yeah, we hummed a little bit of it in the first podcast.
Well, if you've never, if that was your first Zelda, you might have thought the game was over. Like, I did these 3 dungeons, I got a bunch of stuff, beat this wizard. Not bad, I'm pretty short, but Dark World!
No, I love that too because that was the very first time, I'm pretty sure, that Zelda did that, where they're like, okay, yeah, the game, it's all new story, you know, whatever, the pig guy's gone, and then all of a sudden, yeah, you defeat the boss, and then all of a sudden, Ganon's like, no, I'm still here!
Well, I'm saying that's, as those that remember the first podcast...
or whatever the wizard.
No, but those remember the first podcast, which you should, no, that's one of my top 3 games, and yeah, I did not go to the Dark World to fight a Ganon, there it is, because I wandered around the world endlessly, like, there's another heart piece. How do I get it? Oh my god, I still haven't gotten over here. I must be missing something. How is this possible? You can't get to these places yet. I'm so confused. I finally went to fight a Ganon in a second save slot, and I'm like, that's why.
The game's not over.
It's not over. No,
it's far from it. You got a cape to get, some magic canes. What was his voice?
I hated the canes.
Oh, you got it.
I'll also add that as an addendum.
You get a mirror.
Moving on, number 34, Final Fantasy VI, The Opera House.
Yep.
One of the things that I was looking to see in CG in Anthology, and they only showed a little bit of it.
Yeah, I was thinking that whole scene was going to be CG.
Yeah, no, it turns out, one of my biggest letdowns in gaming was seeing the CG in all the trailers, and then finding out it was just an intro and an ending, and that was it.
Yeah.
Whereas Chrono Trigger had all over the place animated sequences.
Anime
so cool.
Scenes, yeah.
Next, from Fallout 3, not everyone experienced this, including myself, but I heard it was cool. Nuking Megaton.
Yes.
Didn't do it.
Oh, I
didn't do it.
I was a paragon of virtue, my friends.
I did it twice, that's why.
I play good in every game. Even when I tried to play evil in the original Knights of the Old Republic, I still did a bunch of nice stuff. I still saved Kashyyyk in the end.
Okay, I can't do that.
I was like, yeah, I'll get the evil ending, but, you know, those Wookiees don't have to get slaveized, you know?
I think the only game I've ever played through evil was Infamous.
That's because it's awesome.
But even then, at the beginning, I was like, I'm not sure I want to do this. I'm being really mean. I'm being really mean. I am electrocuting
I
can't play evil.
You know a game that I did,
I'm such a good person.
Jade Empire. And that was really hard.
I always wanted to play that game, and I never did.
Jade Empire's a great game.
Oh, it's really
I always wanted to.
Nobody ever think about.
1,000 Cuts.
I didn't look it up, but I just so happened in my indecisiveness.
And I did play that through twice.
I just so happened in my indecisiveness, not looking up anything, totally got both the ladies in my second playthrough.
Well done, sir.
Because there's a way, because there's multiple romance paths, depending on who you talk to the most. But if you talk to both of them equally the most, then in the end, they're both your romance.
Well, I know you've kissed at least 2 women in real life, so congratulations. That's.
But no, because the way it happens is, there's a sequence where it's like the implied sex scene or whatever, but it's just like they both come up to you, it's like, you have to decide. You're like, I decide both. And then you just see it pan out with both of them right in your arms coming in, it's terrific. Next is from Red Dead Redemption, definitely a spoiler, so if you haven't played Red Dead Redemption all the way through, very sorry, is John Marston's Last Stand.
Oh, I haven't played Red Dead Redemption all the way through.
Like, when you hear the call and you exit the bar and you see the dozen people, and then you just you think as the player, you're like, oh, we're gonna find a way out of this, and then it just goes into Deadeye mode, and you try to target as many people as you can, and you just get shot dead.
Yep.
And
no, that was awesome.
So poetic.
Yeah.
Oh, just terrific.
Damn.
Terrific moment. Oh, you never played it?
That sounds amazing.
Well, no, it's just the fact how it opens up.
Damn it! Why did you chime in? It's so cool.
I probably never will. It's too big of a game to go back to now.
That's my problem.
It sounds good.
I need to become a millionaire to play half these games.
Next is from number 31, from Oblivion, Emerging from the Sewers.
Sure, why not? Beginning of the game, just like Skyrim. Same thing as the Skyrim one where the dragons come. Next.
Exactly. Like, why not? Why not? Something cool that happened in the game. Next is from Tomb Raider, number 30, the T-Rex.
Moving on. Why is the lady, there's archaeologist fighting T-Rex? Moving on.
Here's my big thing with that is...
Never understood it.
Yes, I agree with it. Yes, I agree with that part. But also, the T-Rex dies so easily. You're kind of like... you took twice as many shots as a Velociraptor. No, it does. The T-Rex dies easy, and you have unlimited ammo with the original gun. So it's like, okay, that was... Now, you probably die because he can kill you in 3 seconds, but...
What a shot he is!
No, she is.
What was that from? Was that Patton?
Bender. That's Futurama.
Oh, yeah.
What a shot that guy is!
Next is number 29. I hate this one. Scoring a Tetris in Tetris.
Next.
Yeah, it happens a million times a minute. Whatever. Next is is Resident Evil 4 when Dr. Salvador appears.
Yeah, I'll give that it.
I didn't get that far.
No, you did.
I did not get that far.
Dr. Salvador is the man with the bag on his head and a chainsaw.
Oh, that's his name?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, then yes, I got that far.
You did, and that's fucking terrifying.
It's,
Yes.
No, yeah, even
surrounded
from
by
the
freaks.
demo. When it happens in the demo, isn't that? Oh my God.
That's how it ends.
That's
Just
what sold the game for me. As soon as I had that.
Get that shotgun.
And then, of course, in Resident Evil 5, they're just all over the place and they move twice as fast. It's like ridiculous.
What's the point?
Number 27 is another one, memorable moment, but it's dangerous to go alone from Legend of Zelda. It's a line of dialogue!
It's the first thing you read on the screen after you start the game.
Yeah, again, it just seems like something that they've said, oh, you know what, there's a lot of shirts and memes and stuff out of the internet from this moment. Let's just
Number
put it on the
27?
list.
God, it's apparently better than those cool Half-Life moments and stuff. It's the line of dialogue.
Yeah,
Next is,
better than the final chilling moments of Half-Life Episode
absolutely.
2
Oh, yeah.
is, take a
Here's a
sword,
sword.
I'm old. Take a sword,
I'm old.
That's the line.
Next is from number 26, Medal of Honor Allied Assault, the Omaha Beach moment.
Sure,
Yeah,
why
first
not?
time I played that.
Which I'm sure it's the first time it happened in gaming. The first time I saw it was from Call of Duty 2, which they did it really well.
No, actually, yeah, that was
Where
I did it in Conqueror's Bad Fur Day.
Yes.
awesome.
I'm the great and mighty Pooh.
Next is number 25. I hate this as well because the gravity gun from Half-Life 2. It's
That's
not a moment.
Not a moment. Yeah.
It's not a moment.
It's a gun.
It's an item.
That's it.
And
But
No, the word moment is a noun, so anything that has a noun in it can be a moment.
yeah,
top video game moment: Metal Gear Solid the game.
The box.
there's two.
Xbox 360.
The time my mom gave me $5 and I went to the arcade.
There's two moments with the gravity gun. If you can't just say the gravity gun because it makes me think, oh, they hand it to you, and you go toss shit around in the backyard with a robot. Dog's great, but that moment with the gravity gun, no. It's either Ravenholm or the Citadel.
Yes.
When all your guns get zapped except for the gravity gun, then it's time to be.
No, I was gonna say that.
Tend to be clever.
More video games need to have a final level that rewards you for getting that far.
Yep.
Like the end of Half-Life 2.
Oh, it's so like.
Hey, you've done pretty well so far. Why don't you be a badass for the next 10 minutes?
Seriously.
Why don't you be unstoppable? Here you go.
Where it's like, I can barely lift up a crate. Now I can tear a computer console off the wall and throw it at a guy.
across the room.
Oh no, I can throw the guy at 10 other guys. Seriously, it was
It's so great
accurate.
when they scream.
But I will
That
say,
makes me sound like.
I will say I did
Terrible,
get the
yeah.
achievement on the Xbox, no less. Well, I suppose that's where
Yeah,
achievement.
that's right.
Yep.
No less.
He got the Game Boy trophy. Yeah.
Go on.
Okay, next I got the achievement for there's an achievement for going through Ravenholm only using the gravity gun.
I got that one.
And that was
Oh, I didn't.
terror.
Oh, yeah.
You basically have to have 3 razor blades with you at all times, just stuck in various
Just keep
places.
picking 'em up
Because the
and
next
throwing.
time the crazy running terror zombie comes along, you need to have it ready. Like then
Yeah,
you
that
miss,
last
and then you
last
cry.
bit,
Yeah,
trying to
I
get
can't
into that
imagine
lift with
How could you do that? We just-
Grigori, that was his name.
Oh,
Oh,
all
my
right.
children,
Next.
my congregation.
Next is number 24 from Super Metroid, when you are saved by the baby Metroid. in
That's
the
a
end.
big moment. That's a big
Yep.
moment.
Yep.
I believe
Because you
it's
don't
in
see
the
it
top
coming.
25, sure.
You know,
But it's excellent. That whole game
game.
was that. Even
Love
though
it.
the other Metroid games were unplayable.
I think when I bought it on Virtual
you
Console, I played
cannot
through it
talk
twice.
anymore. Can we not let Steven talk for the rest of this podcast? You
No,
just said Metroid's
I played
unplayable.
and beat them all, so I'm allowed to say I did not like Metroid 1, I did not like Metroid 2.
Metroid 2 is a Game Boy game. We have to give it credit for being what it is. Metroid 1, how can you not like it? It's a classic.
because
by
I-
today's standards, you were already playing Super Nintendo and N64
Sure.
games by the time it came out.
Go get yourself a DS
And play...
and play Zero Mission.
Zero
No, I
Mission.
liked Zero Mission.
It's
That's-
the same
it's
game.
No, it's the same game, but back it's just
It works.
I know,
It just
by
has a
today's
workable-
standards,
it's
it was
working.
unplayably difficult. If you did not
That's a
have
big
if you did
difference.
not have maps, if you did not write down everything you did,
That's a big difference.
Unplayably difficult.
It's
I just said
tough.
it was unplayable.
It was
I
tough.
didn't say it was unplayably bad.
I
just
think
said
I
was
had
unplayable.
it when I had an NES when I was 5 or 6 and found it very difficult too. And I was like,
Yeah.
I
I
don't
was
want to
gonna
do
say-
this anymore. I'm dying.
No, exactly. No, because in
Metroid hard, Metroid bad.
in the first Metroid Prime,
Metroid
you
hard.
can unlock the original game, and I remember being like, "Oh, cool, let me try this out." It's 10 minutes later. Fuck this.
It's hard.
F this noise.
It's just
Next,
playing.
next.
Next is a really cool moment. The ending of Braid. Number 23 is the ending of Braid.
Yep.
Is
When you find out
the
that-
bitter
oh,
truth.
no,
Well, I mean,
that's-
because like it's harder to grasp all the nuances, but just the bitter truth moment
when you play
The-
it backwards.
Chilling.
The idea for people
Get
who would
chills
like
right
to
now.
know about it, who don't plan on
This is
playing
the
it.
one game I wish we didn't have to spoil right now for those that haven't played it.
We'll see. You can fast forward 30 seconds from this point because for the next 30 seconds we're going to discuss the ending of Braid.
Can I explain it real quick?
Break it for
Go
me.
for it.
Okay, you there's a princess in a castle. You've been after the whole time. You slowly go through the level, jumping on platforms. She opens all these doors for you. You get to the very end, and you can't reach the princess. The mechanic of the game is that you can rewind it. So you're like, okay, I guess I have to rewind because I missed something. And as you start to rewind, you realize she wasn't opening doors for you to get there. She's closing these doors to keep you out, and the bad guy you've been chasing, he's the one that she's running to. You're the bad guy. She's trying to get rid of you while the other guy is rescuing her.
Pretty good, actually.
So and the way it starts,
look good, yeah.
The way the level ends, you reach up.
Wait 10 more seconds, listeners.
She's up. She's like in her bed, and you're outside at the window.
Yeah.
And that's when you go rewind, and that's when you realize she's in bed and I'm outside her window. That's how this starts. What the? I'm weird.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a bad man.
Okay.
And then
I'm gonna chase her.
Okay, next is God of War 3. Never played it, so
Oh!
we can mention it for you guys though. Assault on Mount Olympus.
Yes.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
I mean,
Every scene in that game is just drop your controller amazing.
I waited for probably 2 hours in line at CES to play that,
Yep.
even though it was coming out like
Worth it.
immediately after CES. But I still waited in line to play the demo at CES. I'm not CES. I'm sorry, E3. 4 years ago. Well, that was 4 years ago, probably.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is
Geez.
there a moment that's better than that though? Because it seems to me like the
Titan.
first Leviathan fighting
first time
Kronos.
when you fight
is
Kronos,
better than that.
Probably would be better.
Well, I mean, I'll
Just
just
because I
mention...
was fighting him like this.
Mostly because everybody keeps abandoning Kratos, and it's like, well, how many people not learned? You don't turn on Kratos because he will come back and kill you.
Yeah.
Gaia, you don't just, oh, you were a pawn. Oh, go back to hell. He's come back twice already from hell. Don't send him there again. It's not worth
He
it.
knows the way out.
But you do have to climb that pillar, and then I
Yeah.
imagine
The blades on it. Oh
I
god.
imagine they just think that he's gonna give up after.
Look,
If that
most
was all
gamers,
of Hades,
Fuck this, I'm
most
not doing
gamers
the third
stop
time.
playing the pillars with the blades on them.
Exactly.
if that was all of Hades, then yeah, he would never lose.
No, well, I'll just mention real quick that moment, first of all, for me it took at least 5 times where the damage from just falling with getting hit by the blades, full health save, kill you.
Yeah.
Like, so at least 100 million tries, at least. One of the gripes that I have with the God of War series, I think I mentioned it, extra credits kind of pointed out to me as well, is the whole story of it. The first one, Greek tragedy, perfect. Set it up the terrific way, storyline, set up cool little nuances at the end if you beat it on the difficulties.
And then
And then it just became, Kratos is angry and stupid, he's not a character, he is rage incarnate, he kills everything in Olympus ever. He stands alone.
But if we want to go into the ending of the game,
Yeah.
I like the ending.
So did I.
The ending. Not talking about the moment that they gripe about in extra credits where you beat the shit out of Zeus. Yeah, whatever.
Are you kidding
That's
me?
great. But when he... Can I spoil everything?
Go for
yeah,
it.
everyone's
He's still the god of war. The god of
Yeah.
war. And he's the only god left. And he kills himself. That's the whole thing. It's like, no more gods. We're done with this. He realizes himself.
Yes.
He gets rid of everybody. And then himself. He doesn't give his power to Athena like she's like, oh, please give it back.
Nope.
So I can be alive again because she's a magic ghost. Like, no. I know I fucked up the world, but it's theirs now. We're all done.
okay, I can
So the
live
whole
with that then.
extra credits video, the whole time I'm going, yeah, but what about the part after that? He had a point to his murderousness.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, it's just the journey there, the whole of God of War 2, and then just most of God of War 3 is
Yeah.
just mindless murder. And then it's just at the end
Yes.
they try to redeem themselves with like, oh, blah, no more guys. Like,
Fine.
okay.
To
Moving
each
on,
his
moving on.
their own.
Okay, well, here's the Portal 2 one at number 21. I'm
No.
not sure to handle this.
I can't do it with you in the room. I
close your
can't.
ears. Close your ears.
Close my ears.
I don't want you to
Close
play
your
it
ears and
because
hum.
this moment made me. This
Okay,
moment
okay,
made me
okay.
sad.
I got earmuffs on.
Okay, it's the point when Wheatley goes bad.
Okay.
That's the one it mentions, but here's the thing. That's a neat moment, but at the same time...
He's
it's
not humming.
No.
It's not the
I
best
s-
moment in the whole game. It's not even...
It's not from a story point. I think it is.
Yes.
Okay.
From a
It's not
gameplay
turning
point, it's
Overall,
not.
lunacy.
The ending,
That
yes.
blew my whole mind. Just all of a sudden, what? You just see... And then
I love the hint he gives you at the end. Take one last look at your precious human moon before
Does
you
he say
die.
that? No,
Yeah.
I just...
If you wait
see-
too long, he says that.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, because you just see the thing move out of the way, and then you go, that's white. And then you hear the
He
glint,
talks
and then
about that's
just
what
chaos.
it's made out of crushed moon rocks.
Yeah, no, and I love just
surfaces.
remembering that Cave Johnson
again?
remark about, oh yeah, it's...
portable surfaces.
Oh yes. All right.
Okay, so we can move on now for Sean's sake, you're good.
You heard half.
I heard
Aside from
everything you guys said.
Aw, you did?
I don't care.
But
Oh.
no, well,
You should.
we
It's
were
not like
vague
I'm
on-
not gonna have an awesome time playing Portal 2 when I actually get to it.
Even not the final fight in that final moment. I would say the moment directly after that, you're not dead, and at the bottom of this endless pit is the rest of the Aperture Science facility.
Yeah.
Abandoned after years and years,
Yeah.
and like, what is all this down here?
Yeah.
That whole sequence until you walk into the little parlor and you hear the voice of J.K.
Joke.
Simmons. Yeah, J.K. Johnson. Everything gave me chills for 20 minutes. I
Oh
was
my God.
moving on.
All of Cave Johnson, like, not seriously,
Yeah.
like because you already mentioned it, like, I didn't want to say it, but
cards.
absolutely. But
Even the ads on the TV were hilarious.
Fill them with bullets.
Just bring them out to cash.
When we mention our favorite games, Riley, one of the people that is one of the guests in the last podcast, he mentions that one of his favorite games is Portal, and he talks about just how it's just one of those games that everyone can get into, just story-wise, it's terrific. There's so little to it, but so much to it.
My vindictive moment with Portal is when they first announced it, along with all the other games, I said, I'm buying that. And my friends were like, no, it's not a standalone game. You can't buy it by itself. You have to buy, what did it come with? Half-Life 2?
Half-Life 2, Half-Life 2 Episode 2, Half-Life 2 Episode 1, and Team Fortress 2.
So they're like, oh, it's part of a bundle, not as its own game. And everyone's like, no, you have to play all the other games. You have to play Half-Life 2. And I'm like, I'm buying all this to play Portal. And everyone made fun of me for that. Then the game came out, we played it, and no one mentioned it again.
Everything about Portal 2, there's not one moment in Portal 2, maybe just the intro stuff, but even then, that's a really creative way to get
brilliant.
Even that announcer's hilarious.
It's brilliant, yeah.
The emergency announcer.
Well, I mean, it's funny, but I mean, just
if you were infirm,
was
mentally incapable, or sick
epic.
in some other way, and the future should not start with you, please go back outside and find someone we should start the future with.
It's just start to finish the greatest game.
Something like that.
Sean's laughing because it's the first time he's heard it.
Please, the whole game is that.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Say your name.
Okay.
Say your name. Okay. Good. You jumped. That's not your name. But
that was terrific. That moment alone was terrific.
What you did there? That was jumping.
Yep.
Next is number 20, which is the end of the world in Majora's Mask. Which
don't care. Hated it.
I think is a little silly because it happens 100 times.
Hated that game because of that aspect of it. If you could have easily controlled and gone, like if the day lasted forever and then you chose to go to day 2 and then you chose to go to day 3 and then you could choose to go back to day 1, I would have loved that game.
Where's the time? Where's the stress? Where's the puzzle element anymore?
That's what I hated about it.
I hated the stress of that, and I despised it horribly, and that's why I didn't like Majora's Mask.
It just ruined the whole thing about it. That's not why I
Majora's
played Zelda, was because of stupid time constraints.
It's different.
I like to take my time and explore, and that made me not want to explore. It made me feel like I'm halfway through a quest. Just to be safe, I better reset and start over so I have enough time. Bullshit.
Yep.
Moving on.
I got all the masks.
No one cares about the masks.
Some people got all the masks.
I got all the masks.
Moving on.
I did like getting the Fierce Deities.
I like to say masks.
Fine. Next is number 19 from Super Mario World, Yoshi. I imagine it's getting Yoshi the first time you see Yoshi. Which, big moment.
Hopping on Yoshi.
Yeah, that was awesome. And you're like, I get a fucking dinosaur for the rest of the game? Fuck yeah!
And then he scurries away whenever you get hurt. Get the fuck back here.
Yeah,
I'm your owner now.
You're invincible. Why are you scared? Nothing can kill Yoshi.
Bottomless pit.
Bottomless pit. No, he's not dead though. He's just at the bottom of a bottomless pit. Alive and well. Do you have any idea how many living Yoshis are at the bottom of a bottomless pit?
An Adventure Brothers style, just a new clone.
Exactly.
Do you watch Tangent, Dorkly Bits, those little videos?
Yeah.
They take sprites and stuff and make their voices move. Or make their voices move. Make their mouths move for voices.
I see sound.
There's one about an inbred Yoshi from the, to put in Yoshi's Island. Just like, give me the baby, pass it on to me, I'm the next Yoshi. I don't really think you should take it. I don't know what happened to you. Come on, we're all together as a team. Look up, I think it's just dorkly.com. And then there's my other favorite one is when you find out Tails can't die. Because he was just an AI computer.
Yep.
So it's just Sonic throughout Sonic 3 sitting back and letting Tails do everything. And then the end scene is Tails alive around a bunch of gravestones, like, why? I just want this to end. And he kills himself and then flies back in. No!
Awesome.
Get rid of that.
Next is number 18, Hadouken from Street Fighter 2.
Again, where do these belong
That's
on
not
this?
a moment.
Yeah.
That's a cool. That's like a top 100 gaming
downright A. That's all it is.
things.
Or firsts.
Yeah.
A list of
Gaming
firsts will
firsts.
belong on these. The
The
first
first
time I do a
Hadouken.
Hadouken.
For me right now, Hadouken is the only like I get really excited about fighting games, and then there comes the moment where I go, oh wait, I'm really terrible at fighting games. So it's just
so
like,
bad.
yeah, Street Fighter 4, and then everyone's playing it. Someone had it over, like just bought it brand new, like, yeah, let's play it. I'm like, Hadouken! I lost again. That's all I can do.
Part of my, I have the same. When I started playing Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Wait a
Then you
minute,
went
you
online.
can't super moves by just pulling both triggers like you could on the Dreamcast?
This takes
this
skill.
is
No, you
not
have to
good
do
for
a
me.
Hadouken and then 3 buttons, or yeah.
Same when I
Yeah.
played Tatsunoko versus Capcom. I was like, this is just
Wow,
like Marvel
I
vs.
played that
Capcom. But the same moment happened for me. I was like, and how do I do supers? Triggers again? No? Oh, God.
Next is another great moment. Number 17 from GoldenEye 007, multiplayer.
I remember that single moment of multiplayer. Yes.
Yeah, that one moment that outshined.
I remember when I played as the guy who threw his hat.
No,
what a great moment.
A better moment is, particularly if you hadn't seen the movie, because I hadn't. I just played.
Yeah, me neither.
007.
I had,
it was great. That first, the dam level, when you get turned on by a little friend, put up all the mines, and then all the guards come in to kill you, and you have to escape while blowing up the place.
Oh yeah.
The second level.
Right before you
it's a
jump
much
to the
better
plane.
moment than.
Now, I would say a good
Multiplayer.
I'd say a good multiplayer moment for me, something that I did a lot when I found the proximity mines. I would always just make a room that when someone entered it, they immediately
If we're gonna do GoldenEye multiplayer moments, then I have to mention my brother Matt. With one of our controllers, the Z button, the trigger on the back of the N64 controller was busted, which meant it was just rapid fire. And if it's rapid fire, that means you never bring up a gun. All you can do is slap. And he would volunteer to be like, I'll take the slapper. I'm the slap. For this whole game, I don't have to switch when I'm rotating. I'm the slap guy.
I do have a favorite
He
single
would run in and get you and then run out of the room, and he would call it juking you. That's for you, Matt, you slapping. And then when he discovered Odd Job, it was even worse.
The Odd Job. That's who.
Slap your knees and run out of the room.
I did have an actual favorite moment for the single player.
What's that?
The single player was the train,
Big.
cutting the hole out of the bottom of the train.
That's pretty great.
That was like, oh yes. Great moment of tension and.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, for me, it took me like 1,000 tries to actually like figure out like where I was supposed to laser. I was a retarded child, just so you know.
Just shoot the whole thing.
And now
Laser
he's
my name
now
into
he's
it.
just no longer a child.
Next is number 16, from Knights of the Old Republic, the first one.
Big spoiler here.
Yeah,
Probably.
big spoiler. So if you haven't played it, very sorry. It just says Darth Revan, which is silly, but I think it's the revelation that you all along were this crazy Sith Lord, Darth Revan.
Asshole. Yeah.
Yep.
Really cool moment I found. Although I was very upset that you could not find his mask, because when I played Evil, I wanted to be full on Revan. I also hated the cop out at the beginning of Knights of the Old Republic 2, where they didn't pick a side. It was like Mass Effect 2 is like they went to your old save file. And even if they didn't go to your old save file, you picked like, oh, which did you do? Did you save them or did you?
Yeah.
Exactly. But in that one, it's just you talk to a guy, and through your choices of dialogue, it's just like, oh yeah, that fucking Darth Revan. You're like, oh, I thought he saved everyone. And he's like, oh yeah, he totally saved everyone. Like,
oh yeah, I remember correctly.
Big event.
Next is number 15 from Metal Gear Solid 3, the battle with the End.
Is that the guy? Is that the
old guy.
gunfight?
Yeah, the 45-minute sniper fight. Yeah.
Which is
we have to shoot a deer to get him. Yeah, that was one of the tactics you had to do. You had shot a deer, it would go down. You waited with the scope on the deer, and then the end would go over and go get the deer meat.
Really?
Yeah. You
'Cause,
didn't know.
he wanted
You
to
guys
eat.
fought it without doing that?
No,
I didn't play
here's the thing.
Snake Eater.
I didn't play Snake Eater.
Okay.
But I'm familiar with that, and I also know that there's a way that you can avoid the battle altogether.
Yes.
What?
That
Yeah,
I didn't know.
that's the video that I watched repeatedly because my friends would complain about that battle, and I would send them
it was
that clip.
hard. Yeah, it
I would
was
send them
really
that clip
hard
as,
fight.
look, you
Especially
don't
'cause
look.
they're trolls.
Within 8 seconds, you can end this.
Yeah, no, isn't
How?
it like there's someone
that
to
I
sneak
didn't
up
know.
behind him and
Yeah.
then just murder him on the spot?
Yeah.
How the hell do you find it? Because it's a big...
Huge yard. Yeah, I know. I've
It's just
seen
a
the
place
video.
you can sneak up, climb somewhere, I imagine, right?
But you
Oh,
have
like
to do
he always goes to the first spot or something like that?
there's a specific way to do it. Trust me, there's plenty
Why
of
did I
video
not
on it.
find that?
No, I remember watching, like, back
you-
when G4 was first around.
I guess
they
I just
had
enjoyed
to do
doing
They
that.
show that all the time.
Next is from Grand Theft Auto 4,
Man.
the bank heist mission.
Again, that's
that.
one of those things where I wanted to stop playing that game. It was
Sitting
so
out.
hard.
Sitting out of this.
I wanted to stop playing it, but it was so much fun. Now, here's the big thing, and
Go ahead.
if they put in a checkpoint system, I'm saying I successfully 28 times picked up my friends at their house, drove to the rendezvous point, went into the bank. Yeah, there's certain places where there should have been checkpoints,
Totally.
and that would have been a supremely enjoyable experience. Instead, it was about, I'm going to say, 3 hours of pain, because you have to redo the drive there,
Yeah.
re-listen to the dialogue of everyone in the van.
Oh, God, yeah.
There's no checkpoints, and it's hard.
No, that's a complaint that I have of the series overall, is I wish they would have checkpoints once you got to the fucking building where the mission is.
Exactly. Once the mission starts. I understand once the first gun is fired. Once you fire the first bullet, sure. That's where your checkpoint is.
Yeah,
But
exactly. Like even if like the entire rest of the building, you have to start at the beginning of the building. I don't want to drive my friends there to the building
No.
100 times.
you have to drive yourself to your friend's house first.
Then pick up
In a car big enough to fit all of them.
Slow ass.
No, because I remember there was a mission in Grand Theft Auto 4 as well where you have to drive this guy to a place or whatever, and I just happen to have a motorcycle, and like I get like 90% of the way there, and then just someone decides to change lanes right at the last minute and just instant death. Like he's halfway through a sentence, just boom, dead.
Look, man, I really want to.
Exactly. I actually, when I first read this, I thought this was the heist one in Vice City, which I really liked.
Don't remember.
No, it was the way it worked was you had all these submissions where you had to get people for the heist, the individual people for the heist.
Is that the one
you
where
had
like
to
you get the
driver,
helicopter?
you had to get this guy, you had to get this guy.
We need an expert gymnast.
Right after you got that.
And one of the best wheelmen into business.
No, the most annoying part of that,
we
though,
need an old Jew who owns a casino.
That's gang random up music. It's bass.
All right, but we'll move on to number 13 from Modern Warfare. The first one, Call of Duty 4, is the all gillied up mission, which I think is.
I played the first
top
Modern Warfare.
No,
I mean,
I don't remember exactly what
it was
that
good.
mission was.
Yes,
What's that mission?
I mean, that high up on the list.
What's that mission?
Exactly.
I remember what mission
Exactly.
that. What mission?
It's the first mission you have
yeah,
a
we're
sniper
in the
rifle and
ghillies.
you go
Where you got
slow.
the ghillie suit.
Is it in the snow? Is it the
No,
snow?
it's when you're wearing like the
That's
swamp
War
suit.
II. Okay.
It was.
I wouldn't
no,
say it was one
neat.
of the biggest moments.
Yeah,
of Call of
especially
Duty.
top 15.
No, hell no.
No, that's. I suppose I'll choose this time to mention that I don't like this list because it's very, very, very political. It's like, okay, most of our readers are FPS people. We've got to put an FPS moment in the top 15, even though as great as moments can be in FPSs and can be in Gears of War style games and stuff, they're not.
They're not the best.
Yeah, they're not the best of all games ever. It's.
If we were doing best moments, we'd probably have half RPGs on the list because those are the story-driven games. You know.
No one else would read the list. It would be like the 4 people that have played through all of those RPGs because so many of those require you to have had to have played the game up to that point to have been that attached to all the characters.
Yeah, when Merrick dies in Grandy 2 and fucking kills. What do you go?
He has a
what are you
nice
standing up
beard.
for?
You leave him alone.
All right,
Making
next
us
is
nervous.
number 12 from Castlevania Symphony of the Night, The Inverted Castle.
That's another good. You know what? That's the same thing as the Dark World. But there's so much about that game. I have
That's what it
replayed
sounds like
that.
when you go to Upside Down Castle.
I've replayed that game, I think, more than any other game.
Really?
Not counting like a simple platformer like Super Mario, times I've booted it up. But I mean, from beginning to end, completing as much as I can, I think I've played Symphony of the Night more than any other game.
For me, that would be
Damn.
Braid. I've definitely, from beginning to end, Braid at least 50 times.
See,
Wow.
Braid for me.
Probably not
once-
50, like at least 20.
Once I solve the
Still, that's a
puzzle,
lot.
I've solved the puzzle, and I can do it flawlessly every time in a puzzle game.
Yeah.
So Symphony of the Night, where it's skill based, and I'll play it differently every time too. I'll take different routes. I'll use different weapons. I will use magic. I won't use magic. You know, it's so many different ways to play it.
Yeah. Next is number 11 from Mortal Kombat. Finish him.
Another one that belongs in a list of first moments.
Yeah.
First
First
time
time
you
you
do a fatality.
No,
Which
and even-
fatality would
I was
be
gonna
the
say,
best,
I was gonna say fatality because finish him was just disappointment. It
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
like punch.
Oh
he's down.
shit! I didn't do it right. Oh fuck! I gotta do it again.
The first time you threw a garden hose at your friend and said, "Get over here," you know,
The first time you saw that movie and you were like, this is going to be great.
and then you were wrong.
You were wrong. You were
And
wrong.
then the second one came out. And
You were wronger. An underground series of tubes? Seriously, the second Mortal Kombat
I
movie
know.
was about an underground series of tubes.
I know.
Cyrax fight was the worst thing ever on the planet. Anyway,
No, the worst thing on the planet was the animality battle at the end of Mortal Kombat.
actually, yeah, I'll take that back.
I'm a wolf.
Or no, the whole
Big ol'
training
whack-a-mole.
sequence where he learns about animalities. Next
Next
is
If
montage him
only.
trying to turn into a dragon. That
only.
doesn't- Okay, next is number 10, the perfect example for me of a moment memorable, but not at all the best moment in the game from BioShock entering Rapture for the first time.
That's the beginning of the game.
Yeah, beginning of the game. Like, no.
Like
Your first little
Yeah,
sister.
when you're
or-
descending,
Yeah.
that's the moment that it says. But as far as best moments, again, spoilers, but just the would you kindly
kindly?
moment. Good God.
Oh, God.
Yeah, like just that whole sequence where you killed the guy, and then when you
Andrew.
find out that Atlas is actually Dickface, like
Yeah.
those two
Every
moments.
moment in that game.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
flooding back. When you what was his name? Cohen, the weird
remember
guy in the
Deep
art
Addiction.
gallery. He sidetracked you from
yeah.
Atlas
Yeah,
and
yeah.
was like, well, "You're gonna play in my parlor."
Yeah.
Or the first time Andrew Ryan addresses you directly through that little video, and then
Yes.
everybody starts tagging you. Ugh. Even
Oh,
Bioshock
yeah.
2 has better moments than
See, I never
entering
played
Rapture.
Bioshock 2 because I heard.
Please
it's-
do. No, you're wrong. Everything that
Bioshock 2 was not great.
I just
I-
heard that
I
they
liked
gave
it
it
more.
dual wield, and that's as far as they went with it. That's
and it
hilarious.
makes it better. I
Really?
gotta say, yes. When I played Bioshock again after playing Bioshock 2, I was
You
like,
wanted to do it.
this plays better in Bioshock 2. They improved it. The gameplay is improved.
But the storyline is wretched.
I don't think it's that
Wretched.
bad.
No, here's the thing: is I like liked their original idea of having the big sister be the main antagonist, like as one big sister, instead of like, oh, let's make the big sister just the mini bosses the whole game.
Yeah, and fight a lot of them.
Stupid.
And if you set it up the same way you set up Big Daddies,
like the first time you saw the Big Daddy, the first time you saw that, absolutely you'll remember that should be on the freaking list of top 100 times. But the little sister, I never really.
Well, okay, then just the moment in Bioshock 2 where you see the world through what a little sister sees.
That was interesting.
They see it as a rosy tinted world of curtains and chandeliers.
Aww. But even then, that sort of like exact scope, I'd like to think of it less as that's literally what they see the world as much as they're just delusioned to see this world as normal and pleasant.
Yeah.
Next is number 9 from the original Portal, breaking out of Aperture's science lab. Yep. Which is the moment where they're descending you into the fire, and then you just go, oh.
I decide not to.
Oh, that's excellent. Just mostly because of GLaDOS' dialogue through that whole thing. Assume the party
retrieval position.
Yeah.
I'm wearing the shirt, folks.
You will be
in
baked,
honor of Steve.
And then there will be cake.
In honor of Steve and his GLaDOS, I'm wearing a Portal shirt. So
that is where you escape, unless you are certain people like Brian Gavados,
who just dies because it's what you're supposed
sat
to
on
do.
the platform and burned alive.
Yep.
Didn't even try to move. Just like, what's going on? Just looks like fire. Dead. Don't you reload? Don't you try again?
Ryan. No, for me, I escaped and then I was like, wait, let me see what happens, and then just got murdered. Just like in Portal 2 when they give you the option to just follow what the voice is saying, and then you do.
And you're like, oh, I didn't expect you to do that, and you get an achievement for it.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the first time that happens when you follow GLaDOS' instructions. Why don't you just escape through here?
No, exactly. It's gotta be better. Yeah, that's the moment.
Oh, he's talking about something.
I'm talking about the one. I'm talking about the end after those 3. Here's where. If you come back to that room, they're like, well, you jumped down a pit there. If you could just kill yourself, throw it. Oh, you didn't. I didn't expect you to do that. Yeah. You'll get an achievement there.
All right, moving on. Number 8. Here we go.
Number 8.
Intense.
Halo Combat Evolved, stepping onto Halo.
Nope, that's wrong.
Beginning of the game. God damn it.
That wasn't the best moment out of that game
top
at all.
10 gaming moments
like,
of all
not
time.
Even at all.
Walking onto the level.
You can even say first time you drove the Warthog is a better moment than that.
And even then, that's top 50 tops.
Awesome.
Like, come on.
Sorry, what's a better moment in Halo? Or the
cool
flood.
Guy.
The flood release.
The flood.
The
flood.
I read the flood. The fucking flood. Here could it come. When you watch that video of the head guy's head cam, the fucking flood.
He says that. Oh, fucking flood.
Oh, the fucking flood.
All right, next is number 7. I don't know. This is probably for older gamers. Metroid, when Samus takes off her helmet, you find out Samus
that
is
was
a lady.
big for us.
It's a big deal.
That was a big deal in our age.
There's a lady in there?
We would play that game in order to get her in her bikini. It was important.
Oh, boy.
We were 8. That was important.
But I mean, was that when you first found out, you personally, or did you have a friend that beat it and you found out?
I don't remember how we found out that it happened, but we did it. We would most common thing we did in that game was Justin Bailey. When we were bored, we did the Justin Bailey thing. You play the game nice and quick. The end.
Yeah.
No, we would try and get the best endings. We really would.
No, I remember the first time I played the original Metroid, just like I did with the other Metroid games, was ROMs.
So Justin Bailey didn't work, and none of those codes worked because it was a mistake on the Nintendo hardware itself.
Yeah, right.
Oh, are you serious? That's terrific.
The only reason the Justin Bailey code worked was it just happened to be a random string of characters.
Love that.
That spelled a real person's name.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people were like, "Oh, is Bailey like some sort of a slang for a bikini or something?"
No,
as in just in Bailey.
No, it's just a random series of characters that ended up spelling a real name, so they made it a password.
But yeah, I suppose for me, since I had known all along, because it was before my time that she was a girl. Like I definitely read like webcomics and stuff from people that were back then, where it's just like, yeah, I can't wait to finish this, and then takes off her helmet. She's a girl, and he's just like sitting alone in his bathroom. He's like, what is my world at this point?
Everything I know.
The princess was in another castle. She was fighting aliens.
My existence is gone. Next, number 6 is from Shadow of the Colossus, seeing the first Colossus.
Not the best moment of that game.
No, exactly.
By far.
Yeah.
There's 100 other better moments in that game.
Again, this is another example of it's the beginning of the game.
Yeah. And maybe I can understand that if you were put in front of it blindfolded and not told what the game was called, or even watch the opening sequence where the voice from the sky says like, "There's 16 big ass monsters for you to go kill."
Yeah, exactly.
If it was just like, follow the beam of light with your sword and climb up there. Then it would have been like, what is that thing?
And then you're told you have to kill this thing to save your girl.
That is actually one of the reasons why I can't wait to have kids, because to have them experience
that's fucking disturbing.
Don't care. I want them to experience. I want them to experience all the great video gaming moments in that realm.
Yeah, that game has so many better moments. Super spoiler alert. My 2 favorite moments kind of combined into one in that game is on your way to the final Colossus when Argo dies. When you fall.
Not Argo.
Aggro. Sorry. When Aggro falls and I remember playing that and I'm like, wow. I was emotionally stunned there. I was hurt. So, and then when you go back and you're back at the castle and there's Limpy Horsey and you're like, I put my controller down and clap.
Yeah, I'm dead, but yeah.
No, the horse death scene did hit me a little personally as well, though, because of a movie I watched a lot when I was a kid was Neverending Story, and I was definitely hit a little hard when what was the horse's name?
I don't know. He drowns in mud. No one cares.
He drowns in mud because he was
sad.
Sadness. He was sad. He had to die.
Because you're sad. You had to die. You better cheer the fuck up now.
Are you happy yet? If you're not, you're gonna kill yourself.
Number 5, though I don't think it should be in the top 10. Really big moment for me, actually. The original Resident Evil when you encounter the very first zombie.
Again, that's turn the game on and go up. Oh, when he turns around and oh look, there is a person. Resident Evil has so many better moments. None of them.
The liquor is better than that in the hallway when
it comes down.
Yeah,
but no, actually no. For me, I was just at the appropriate age.
It's a good impression.
I was at the appropriate age where that, even in its horrible graphics, was fucking terrifying.
Hell yeah!
That moment stuck with me for a long time.
See, that wasn't terrifying for me. The dog jumping through the window and the ravens, or the crows that I couldn't get by. Those always scared me. But there's so many better things in that game. The dialogue to this day is something I still quote and make fun of, because even then it was terrible. Even then it's like, oh my god, the characters on screen are talking. No, it wasn't impressive technology. It was terrible. The master of unlocking.
What is that?
No, my favorite thing about that game was, at least the original release, was it was still the Sega Saturn era. Let's use real actors instead of CGI.
Oh, the opening sequence?
Yeah, it was just, oh my god,
bad.
So cheesy. Like
they really just showed how bad the game actually was.
They still do that with the Command & Conquer games, actually, which is really
no,
that
was the brilliant that they do.
That was the one thing I hated in Alan Wake, was whenever you turn on the TV and there's this weird real actors in there. I'm like,
did you watch them all?
It takes you a watch them all.
And the moment near the end where you watch yourself in an interview on television.
Yes.
They don't look real because it's through a screen on a video game. They looked uncanny valley bad. Okay. Like just make it part of the video game.
We're within the top 5 now, folks. This is number 4 gaming moments of all time.
Better be big.
Thank you, Mario, but our princess is in another castle.
I can kind of give a little. No, I can give credit there. That's
the
a
first
big
moment.
That's not the beginning of the game. That's you get to the end of the first level, which when you didn't know how to play video games, because these things were new, a-hole.
Okay,
we didn't know how to play these things yet. This wasn't inherent. You wake up when you're 4 years old and you know how to play a video game. This is something you had to learn how to do.
I don't know.
It's up there. It's up there.
I always seem more of a like, what? Again? Damn it! The same with always seeing Bowser there. I was like, you again? I'm gonna drop you in lava.
And then, but he's gonna be fine. Oh my god, he's the same as Yoshi. Yoshi can't die. Bowser can't die. They're the same person. Have you ever seen them in the same room at the same time? I know you're gonna say yes, but maybe there's 2
in the movie, I think. Number 3.
Number 3, which I believe should be number 1, because this is the moment for me that touched me the most in any game ever. Is pulling the sword from the stone in Ocarina of Time. The first time you do it. When you, in the Temple of Time.
And you turn into an adult?
Okay. The first time that happens.
Even before that.
Because up to that point, like, you know you have to get those 3 stones to get the sword, and you're just, like, you're really excited when you finally have the 3 stones. It's just, for me, that was just, like,
That's the exact same thing as the Dark World, which came earlier in the timeline.
But no, at that
point... You gather 3 things, you go pull out the sword, then you fight the big boss, and then you're in the Dark World. It's the same concept. This is, you get the 3 stones, you get there, and you're suddenly in, instead of a Dark World, the future. It's the same concept. It was delivered in Link of the Past.
Yeah, but this happened all at once. It was you pulled the sword and it happened. It was all one moment. Okay. In Link to the Past, wasn't it like you pulled the sword earlier?
Then you can go defeat a Ganon.
Yeah, exactly. And in this, it's all one moment compacted in one. Again, it was my first experience with this.
And if I remember correctly, were you told that the sword was back there? Because I thought it was just like, you need to get in there to prevent Ganon from getting the Triforce.
Yeah, you just had
I thought you just needed to open it up.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't know. It was like, there's a badass sword in there,
Oh, yeah.
let me go.
No, it's just here's the ocarina. Go stand here and go play this tune.
Play the song. You got the stones. Open that door. Hey, a sword. I don't see anybody else here. That's how Link talks in my mind.
Hey,
Link.
I'm Link.
No, that is what Zelda does. Like, that's why for me, everlasting, it will be always for the greatest gaming series of all time for me.
Now, is that the best moment in Ocarina of Time as well?
Ocarina.
For me,
is it when you play Saria's song for the Goron and he does his dance? Oh yeah, whatever he says.
Oh yeah.
I'd love to point out how we all know that song.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Because the dancing Goron haunts my nightmares.
I know all the
You can
songs.
get behind him.
No, what I love about the Zelda
Or is it
series
when
that-
fucked up fish lady tries to bone you? Was that your favorite moment?
What?
Oh,
The
in
Zora
cave?
princess.
Yes.
The princess.
Tries to get it on.
When you're inside the
After you do
whale
the-
and she's like, yeah.
Or is it when the witches, the ugly witches, turn hot? Was that your favorite moment?
Oh yeah, with the boobies.
They wink at you.
Ooh, no, actually, that boss battle remains one of my top 10
That's a
boss
great
battles
boss
of all
battle,
time.
yeah.
Maybe even top 5. Loved that.
With the witches?
That's a good one.
What?
Yeah,
Not
with the mirror and the witches and stuff.
not Bongo Bongo? That's not your favorite boss? Shadow boss Bongo Bongo?
Yeah, kill me with a shuffle bongo bongo. Anyways, no, I was gonna mention real quick that that's what I love about the Zelda series is they are.
Okay,
Or was it every
not
time
helping.
you had to listen to the owl say things twice because you press an A too much?
That's a good one.
I
Fuck
still
that owl.
Can I say my wistful thing? All right.
Yes.
God damn it! I just want to say.
What's your wistful moment?
No, I was gonna say that's what I love about the Zelda games. Is like they don't present you with all the information. When you play through Wind Waker, you don't know that Zelda's gonna come into play, or Ganon for that matter. When you play Twilight Princess, you don't know Ganondorf is gonna be part of it at all. The entire thing.
You're playing a Zelda game. It's assumed.
But you know in
it's
the back of
assumed,
your
but at the-
mind.
No, it's assumed, but at the same time, where was Ganon in Majora's Mask? You have that hint in the back of your brain. Oh, maybe I won't see the
Whoa,
Master
whoa,
Sword
whoa,
this
whoa!
time.
What's going on here? What's going on here? Who's that big lizard dude at the end of this hallway? Is
That
that Bowser? Is that Bowser? I'm in a Mario game and I see Bowser.
No, but Mario doesn't do
Shut
that.
up.
Mario never tries to trick you into thinking you're not going to fight Bowser in the end.
Here comes Wart's back. When are they gonna bring back Wart? From your
Never.
dreams.
Never. Because,
I blow bubbles. Rah.
no,
Alright,
when
go
they
on.
decide to make a Doki Doki Panic 2. Like,
point.
that's for the nerds. I'm not going to go and explain that.
That's true. That's you
I'll
have
give
points.
I'll give you some credit. Again, I'm saying even in Twilight Princess, you're well into the game before it's like, oh, by the way, here's how we lock the evil pig demon away.
Okay, you know what apparently was better than number 3, though? Was from Metal Gear Solid, the Psycho Mantis sequence.
That
Which-
still is.
Wait, the fight or
Yeah.
the first time you see it?
No,
The fight.
it just says Psycho Mantis, so I imagine it's from, like, the beginning when he reads your
Well,
memory
no,
card.
Yeah, the memory
first
card
time
thing.
you see him, what is it, in the hallway after you rescue Meryl, I think it is.
Right, of course.
And then...
I don't know.
First time you see it, yeah, that's interesting. But the fight, I would have to say that is definitely one of my moments.
Okay, there's two.
because-
There's two things. I'll let you do it since this is your passion.
Well, the whole thing, like, the reason why I loved the Psycho Mantis fight is because it's just, it created a different kind of chance. Like, you were not expecting, you know, the fact that you had to pull out your controller and put it into the,
There it
the
is.
next thing. I was not expecting that. I died like 3 times thinking, how the fuck am I going to get around this asshole that can see everything I'm doing?
Right brain hint. No,
Yeah.
no one's going to get
no,
that.
no one's gonna get that. How would that work in today's games since it's all wireless? Is my
Oh,
question.
God. Oh, yeah. But,
Good point.
Put the batteries in backwards. Oh.
change your controller. Get a white one.
Finish
Use
with,
your guitar. Use your Guitar Hero guitar.
We know you have at least 3.
That's the only way you can beat me.
Play Dark Side of the Moon on your computer.
I'm playing peripherals.
I now need
I
to
see
decide-
someone's downloaded a lot of Green Day.
Oh, my God, that's funny.
No, I'll
A little
mention
bit, yeah.
that I love it when games do that, when they think of something outside of your general thought process to put in the game. In Phantom Hourglass, the one for the DS, one of the moments I liked was where Ross is doing the motion. It's like they say, "Oh, press your piece of paper up against the map to have the map."
Yes,
and
you can make a
and like
copy
for
of
me,
it.
I was standing there for ages.
I was on an airplane when this happened. I was on an airplane back to Philly. I had 4 hours left, and I'm like, I can't get any further in this game. So I shut the lid in frustration, and I hear a doo 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 doo. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? I shut it in frustration.
Okay, no, so for those who don't know, the idea was it shows like your piece of paper on the bottom screen and the map that you have to copy on the top screen, and then the idea is that you have to close your DS, you press the map up against the other thing, and that's how you get it. Oh my god, so like, how do you know you're supposed to do that? Like, I didn't do it out of frustration, but I was like,
That reminds me of Sonic 3 didn't have a moment where you had to play with the Genesis controller upside down or anything. But if anyone remembers Carnival Night Zone, it had those barrels that would move up and down, and they spun you around in a circle.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Now, if you were me, or most people from what I gather, you thought there was one where you were trapped in this room, and it was up and down, and you had to get underneath it. But it wasn't moving enough for you to slip underneath. So I thought you had to bounce on it and push it down and it would shoot back up and do it enough to the point where you could quickly jump under and go. What the game never ever tells you, there's no arrows on the barrels, there's no point where it teaches you this, is that if you're standing on it and you press up or down on the D-pad, you can just move it up or move it down.
What?
You can move those barrels. And in a Sonic game, you never
do
use.
that.
No.
You never even use the up and down on your D-pad. When do you ever? Maybe to roll, you press down to roll and spin dash.
That's it.
Speaking of, I noticed in 100 moments, not a single Sonic moment.
Yeah,
It's not
you
a
are
single
correct.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
It would be when the animals release.
Oh, look at all the happy animals!
I have a purpose.
No, I actually
saving animals.
I could think of a good.
That wouldn't be a
For me,
moment,
if there
no.
was a first, it'd be because you can do this in the very first Sonic in a spring yard zone. That's it.
Jeez.
There's times where there's these huge half pipes.
Yeah.
And you're going so fast that Sonic can literally leave the screen. The camera cannot keep track of it.
Yeah, and then it's like 3 seconds later, he comes back down.
Yeah, that
That's
would be
really
the
cool.
one where I was like, I can't even see him anymore.
Do you want to know my
Where'd
favorite?
he go?
My favorite Sonic stuff, amazingly, on the Game Gear. I had all the Sonics on Game Gear, and
yeah.
I loved
Get
them.
outta here.
I loved the Sonic games.
No, they were awesome. Come on.
For the 20 minutes where you could play it before the battery died.
This is true. Point.
Yeah.
All right, Psycho
The 8
Mantis.
batteries.
We were talking about. Sorry,
Oh, yeah.
we were number 2 on this list. We're
one
almost
of
done.
the 3 people on Earth with hands big enough to fit around the Game Gear.
Look at these things. You know I wasn't.
And the number 1 gaming moment of all time!
Supposedly.
Surprise.
From Final Fantasy VII, Aerith's death.
Aerith or Eris?
It says Aerith's, I think, for
With
the
an S?
Japanese people.
Is it S or TH?
TH, that's what I said.
Okay.
I don't have a list.
all
I didn't
time.
just say Aerith.
That's number 1.
Yeah, when she dies. No, I
It was,
agree.
it was a
At
huge
all, no.
moment.
Huge moment.
I have
Big
an
moment.
Story
Yeah.
wise.
I have an embarrassing thing to tell about that moment in the game. I was in high school when that game came out, and as I played it, I gave my friend the first disc. And then as I beat the second disc, I gave my friend the second disc. So I gave him the second disc, and he's like, okay, I'm going to start playing now. He starts playing, comes up to me a couple days later, he's like, I got to that part, and I had to pee. So I walked away for a minute, and I missed the animation. I said out loud at this point, in front of my choir teacher, Miss LaRue, I said, oh, I would have killed myself if that happened to me. To which she took great meaning to. She's like, you need to talk to the guidance counselor, and I'm going to have to call your mother. I'm like, no. And I'm trying to explain to her, I meant I would have killed the characters in the video game to reset before that moment, so then the game didn't save. That's what I meant by kill myself. She did not allow that as an excuse. She thought I was suicidal for weeks.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Oh my god. No, and even then, I would have thought you used it as just an expression. Use the expression, I would have killed myself.
I missed something.
I think I was speaking.
I would have punched through the whole wall. Like, oh my god, why would you punch through the
you
wall?
do
He's so violent. Get him into counseling.
Yeah, for 2 weeks, I had to live with that.
Oh my god. But as far as Eris's death, yeah, big moment story-wise, but even then, like, even now, like, I don't consider that, even among Final Fantasy games, the best moment.
No.
Certainly not in Final Fantasy VII the best moment. For me, Final Fantasy VII, just...
The ending, for one thing.
Yeah, the ending was epic. Like, maybe, like, one of the first times that you cast, like, a super awesome summon.
Yeah,
Like,
first time you saw Bahamut.
yeah, it was Bahamut Zero, which was twice epic. Or the first time, after 7,000 hours of racing chocobos that I got the golden and breeding them, and finally getting the golden chocobo and being able to get Knights of the Round.
Knights of the Round. Summoning Knights of the Round for the first time, and then waiting for the next 12 minutes while the
Or
animation plays.
one of the weapon fights, even.
Oh, yeah.
The gauntlets of weapon
The
fights.
underwater weapon fight. Yeah, there's so many.
That was the only one I beat, I think.
Oh, I beat them all eventually.
I still
They get the
don't think
magic.
I get that game. I still don't think I knew what was going on.
No,
What are these weapons?
The biggest
I don't know
moment
where
for
they
me
came from.
For me, the biggest moment was just the reveal of Cloud's role in his whole history all along. That was the biggest moment for me.
Zack.
Because that's when I was just
Where's Zack?
fucking crazy.
My big moment for that, and I still argue with people about this, is I swear that Cloud and Tifa had sex under the airship.
Ah.
And then they come back on, and they're like, we saw you guys, we saw you guys, we saw you guys.
Nah.
And like that's the line. And she's like, "Oh my god, you saw us?" I'm like, they never say flat out that they were having sex outside, but as like a 14, 15-year-old, that's where my brain went.
What about that time when you went into space?
That was
you go into space
that
in
was
that
8.
game too.
Oh yeah,
it was 8.
No, Sid's rocket ship.
Yeah.
Oh,
He goes
Sid's
into
rocket
space.
ship. Okay, yes.
There's some great stuff in that game.
No, there's some wonderful stuff beyond one character dying, which has been done. There's like 2 characters that died in
Chrono
Final
died.
Fantasy 2.
Yeah.
Chrono died, main fun character. Right?
Oh yeah, Final Fantasy 2. The 2 little kids committing suicide to save you.
Which they weren't pretty flower girls that
No.
you get so attached to.
Can I just say, anyone who hasn't replayed Final Fantasy 2 on the DS, they remade it in 3D, and they made it the creepiest game ever. Do you know what I'm about to say?
No.
They made it the creepiest game ever. Was it Purim and Punim? Is that their name? I know they're Jewish sounding. They sound like Jewish holidays. But
Ross is Jewish, by the way, so this isn't an anti-Semitic pause.
No, but the scene is
Jewish holidays.
the walls are slowly moving in, and they're going to crush the heroes. And like, what can we do? Well, these
Shut
two
down all the garbage compactors on the detention level.
Close.
Call 3PO.
close.
We know all the options out of that.
Yes, the one they went with was they're like, the only way we can do this is if we stop the walls, is if we stop them. So they turn themselves to stone. They sacrifice their lives. They turn themselves to stone so that the walls can't move because it can't move the stone. In the DS version, though, with voice acting like, "Don't worry, we'll save everyone." All right, on the count of 3.
Oh,
1, 2, 3, stone. They say it with smiles on their faces. There's
Suicide.
It's in the original game. You're reading text.
Yeah, it's just
In the
crushing
DS,
your
it
soul.
is disgusting and happy, and it is creepy as fuck.
What if the characters around them didn't realize that? They'll just be stoned. We'll stop outside while you guys are stoned. All right, stop the walls. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Can they not hear us? Are they stoned forever? Oh God.
Because I wasn't paying attention to the conversation. I actually, there's a
Outfit
button over
forever.
here that stops it.
It says
I thought they were
stop
just
right on
gonna.
it.
I thought they were just gonna prevent me from having to walk across the room. My bad.
Yeah. So there you go. 100 moments.
100 moments. All right, and as we're about an hour and a half over time, we'll go ahead and wrap this one up. Unless anybody else has any other moments.
No,
that they
I'm
need
out
to
of
mention.
words.
That's pretty good.
The moment where you race that guy and he always wins.
In what?
No Grain of Time.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I'm just trying to undercut your favorite.
Was that the
moments from
mailman?
Ocarina of Time. Yeah.
was it the
Yeah.
mailman?
Oh,
I'm trying to say fucked up things from Ocarina of Time. The creepy gravedigger who you know is like some kind of child molester with his creepy slack jaw.
Well, to let you guys finally go home after much podcasting,
Yes.
I'll just mention whatever I don't have up at this point between the Forza review, the Rayman review, the Eden review, the EDF review, the Sonic the Hedgehog
Electric Daisy
retrospective, the podcast before this one, this podcast, the
Catherine.
Catherine review,
Yeah.
and whatever the fuck
Oh,
else.
nice.
My review on Cave Story and maybe Shank. I promise, it's just so much on my plate. You guys take care. Does anybody have a clever sign off for this one?
Would you like to hear what I have to say again? Yes. Damn it, you fucking owl!
Okay.
Okay.
Damn it, would you like to hear what I have to say? Damn it, you fucking owl.
To
Everybody.
all of you.
Yeah.
Take
That's
care.
everyone.
Good night.
Bye.
And then you race his ghost. What was that about? He's been long dead, just waiting for you. Give him my secret springing treasure. My springing and shrinking treasure. What? Ah, gross.